Hi guys, I thought I'd give you an update of what's been happening in the patch. It's been a while since my last video, and things are quite different, so let's have a look. So we'll start back here at this end. This is the Jarrahdale pumpkins. If you remember when I had them planted in the tub here and I had them covered with some plastic bottles, and they were slow to get started because things were cold. If you remember, we were predicted to have a hot, dry summer this year, and I planted this patch in a way that would help it create its own cool microclimate. Basically, I've planted it fairly heavily, and as it turned out, we didn't have a hot summer at all. In fact, we're nearly at the end of our summer. Today is, I think it's like the 19th of February, and so autumn for us is the 1st of March, and things are only just starting to heat up now. So I'll show you as we go around. This is the Jarrahdale pumpkin. I have taken a large pumpkin already off of this vine. Now, I have documented the patch with photos, so what I'll do through this video is insert some photos, different things as we go along, and you can see how it's progressed throughout the season. And now we're winding down. I guess we're getting towards the end of summer, and you'll see that. You'll see how that's affected the patch as we go along. But anyway, this is a Jarrahdale pumpkin. Jarrahdale produces a large pumpkin. I use those for souping pumpkins. So yeah, as I said, I've already harvested 11 kilos is what it weighed. And I could have left it on. The reason I took it off is because I noticed that the vine wasn't producing any more fruit, and it wasn't holding on to the fruit that it was setting. It would grow them out to a good melon size, and then they would just yellow off and fall off. So I assumed that was because there was one large fruit left on the vine, and that pumpkin was definitely ready to come off. At the moment it's curing, and as I said, once it's cured for a couple of weeks, I'll be turning that into soup, so it's not going to be a storage pumpkin. Here we are at the nectarine tree, and I was surprised. I only just planted this in this bed, and I only got about 5 fruit off of this, and that did surprise me. I was surprised to get any at all. Got some zinnias scattered around here and there. Some zinnias there. This is all of the dill. Let me get it from the other side so you're not looking into the bright sun. This dill, I'm collecting the seed heads. Actually, I've got a couple of jobs to do today, and that is pulling this dill out. I've already collected a lot of seed from it. I'm going to collect as much as I can because I like to use it in recipes as well, just stews and maybe some tomato spaghetti sauce. But that needs to come out, all of that, and because it's dropping its seeds everywhere as well, I'm pretty sure as soon as I put the hose out here and get watering, we're going to have lots of volunteer dill coming up. That's just amazing how well that grew. I didn't get to make any dill pickles because my cucumbers didn't do well. So actually you can see in here, I don't know if you can see those little sprouts. I'm fairly confident that is all dill seed. So we will see. It's going to be all over the place. Herbs over there. And some flowering chives. little bed there just pretty much takes care of itself, feeds the bees. Oh yeah, dill seedlings everywhere. Cucumbers over here didn't survive. I did have the chickens out here, and they uncovered the roots of these cucumbers, which those cucumbers didn't appreciate at all. And also these cucumbers here, they need to come out. They're an apple cucumber, but I have these growing in other parts of the garden. I'll show you shortly, but these also need to come out. Today, the chickens upset these ones. I put some amaranth throughout the place, just for the colour. I love that vibrant colour of the amaranth. It's very pretty. The sweet potato vines, they finally took off once things warmed up. I haven't had a peek to see if we've actually got any tubers or not, but we have plenty of vines. That is for sure. So hopefully when it comes time to harvest those, I'll record it and see how that goes. These beds are finished. We had early beans in here. In both of these we had the butter beans. Also there was some garlic and things scattered throughout, which I've also harvested. But yeah, I wasn't overly excited about the beans. Not generally I plant a typical green bush bean and they do very well. This year I thought I would try something different. I tried the purple beans and also the butter beans, and they didn't do nearly as well as what the green bush beans generally do for me. So I may even top these up and get a late crop of my green bush beans still. We should probably still have enough time to get a late crop of bush beans. Another job for today. Let me step back a bit. Do you remember these beds? I had sunflowers, watermelon, mostly. I had some beans in here also. The sunflowers are now finished. Nasturtiums are still going strong, which I was surprised about. They normally don't like the heat, but I guess we haven't had the heat until just recently. We've actually got about 4 days of high temperatures coming. Those sunflowers are finished. So yeah, they need to come out as well. There was a rock melon. Where are we? The rock melons, where is he? There he is down there. Only small, but still certainly not nearly ready. The melon vine hasn't really done much. It's putting out a lot of growth there, but it's still, I'm just not getting the female flower buds on a lot of the melons. They've all been male flowers, so anywho, moving along to this bed here. This had the majority of the melons in it. We've got the Sugar Baby melon and the Moon and Stars in here. The Sugar Baby is doing pretty good. We've already harvested a couple of those. Moon and Stars has been slow. We've got one Moon and Stars fruit. Right here, some Moon and Stars. But again, the Moon and Stars hasn't really been putting on the female flowers. So I don't know what is happening there, but anyway, we do have, let me get through here, we do have a number of Sugar Baby melons here and here. I have a sneaky one hiding down in there. He'll be nearly ready to pick. I'm using these stockings to keep the bush rats off of the fruit. The rats can come in and they do like to chew on the pumpkins and these, especially these hard-skinned fruits. The wild rats make a mess of those. Blueberries are well and truly finished fruiting now, but they've been packing on a lot of growth, so that's good to see. Probably may even give these guys a prune this year before they set fruit for next year. The asparagus bed, let me come over this side. The asparagus bed has been a surprise. I thought it wasn't really going to do too much. This is its first year, of course. And I was surprised, but it's really beginning to thicken out. And even though we're late in the season, it is still pushing out new shoots. So I'm happy to see that. For its first year, it's doing very well. So what do we have in here? We've got yellow ox hearts. So in the previous video, all of this, I had all of the tomatoes planted in rows of 4. There was 16 planted out here. We had yellow ox heart, green zebra, there's Merry Italian, there is a mortgage lifter, and I think that was about all, just a mixture of those, and they're all heirloom tomatoes, they're all indeterminate tomatoes. I did interplant with marigolds. So these marigolds are supposed to be a ground marigold, like that. That's what I bought the packet as. But yeah, they're as tall as me, and I'm 5'7". So I think I have a tall variety. But anyway, I've had to tie them up because the marigolds were completely out competing the tomatoes. So I've had to bunch them up and get some sort of control in here with those. So yeah, this is the update, you guys. Things need a water. I'll be watering this evening. I did come out yesterday and I've harvested a lot of fruit that's ripe. I did that yesterday. I'll show you though what I got. But we do have these yellow ox hearts. If I can get my hand under it. They're probably the biggest. The mortgage lifters haven't ripened yet, so I don't know if the mortgage lifters is going to compete, but these yellow ox hearts are huge. We've had some stem boring issues with caterpillars. Also caterpillars getting into some of the fruit. I did pull a lot of the damaged fruit off yesterday also, and I threw that to the chickens. But overall, the majority of the fruit has been okay. The majority of it is undamaged. I am harvesting them just as they're starting to blush. I'm not letting them fully ripen on the vines. This is my apple cucumber vine, and we've harvested already a lot of cucumbers off of this. And again, this getting to the end of our summer season here, I'm going to be expecting to see powdery mildew appearing on this any day now, really. You can see it's already starting to wind down. It's had enough. So I'll leave it for now, just while we're getting these last cucumbers. But as soon as it starts to get a bit yucky looking, I'll pull that out as well. I may even try for some late cucumbers. It's so difficult to tell with the seasons these days. I feel like you can't really rely on what things that we would have normally, the way we would have normally gardened, say 5 years ago, is a bit different now. You just sort of got to read the seasons as they come along, I guess. So I may even try for some late cucumbers. I know the cucumbers, especially here, they don't like it when it gets too hot. They do prefer it a bit cooler. And if we can, if our temperatures can stay mild enough, long enough, we may even get another cucumber plant. I might try the straight eights. The straight eights were the ones over in the other bed that the chickens killed. I only managed to get one before the chickens dug up the roots. Lots of green zebras down in here. These guys are, to harvest them, I just go by feel. Get a bit of a feel. That one could probably come in a little bit soft. What do I have? I have some butternut pumpkin. I have two butternut pumpkin or butternut squash in bags, again to keep the rats off. We have a Mary Italian there, starting to colour up, starting to blush. This is the point where I take them inside and I let them finish ripening in the house. That's the best way I've found to protect them from bugs. As we keep wandering down here, this is the mortgage lifter tomato here, and it hasn't. I don't think I've had any ripe fruit off of this one yet. It's definitely got that old heirloom variety look about it, but I don't have a lot of confidence, especially not with this one. You come down here, these ones look like nice fruit sets. Hopefully, as the season goes on, hopefully the mortgage lifter will improve as it keeps on continuing. It's very tall. It's already heading out the top of the hoop there, but ripening, nothing's ripening. So we have some grub damage, but like I said, nothing too serious. You have to share some of it with the wildlife. Mary Italian. We've had some ripe fruit from this one. And we've got a little one here. Where are we? So now we're on the south side of the watermelon bed. You can see the moon and stars vine better on this side. One thing I have learned, this is my first time growing melons, so I'm not very good at it. I definitely have learned that the melons really do appreciate a lot of sun, and I think I have this moon and stars planted on the south side of this bed, and because I've planted these on the south side, they haven't had as much sun, and that may be why I'm not getting the fruit on the moon and stars. So that's something I've learnt for next year. If I grow melons again, I will make sure they are all in full sun. Let's wander around the back here. Have a look at the ladies. What are you doing, girls? Hey? What are you doing, miss? Come up for a scratch. You think you can eat the camera? She likes to scratch this one. The other two are a bit shyer, a bit more shy. She's hanging back though because of the fence, and I do have a hot string to keep them off the fence so that they don't eat too much of the plants that I have growing along the fence here. So these are volunteer cherries, cherry tomato. I do not remember the variety. I like the cherry tomatoes for our salads. Another volunteer cherry vine. And then the mulberry tree, I strung it down along the fence so it grows more like a vining plant rather than a tree. It is a dwarf variety, but even the dwarf variety are quite long. Quite tall, I should say. But that's still putting out buds. I guess it will be dropping its leaves soon. It does drop its leaves in the autumn, so it's certainly on its way. I do have a pumpkin. I have another pumpkin variety, crookneck variety, planted here, and that also only set the one fruit. And again, it's had plenty of flowers, but they've all been male flowers. So it's only set this one crookneck pumpkin here, so far, at least. Mary Italians there, that one's starting to blush, that can come in as well. So yeah, that's the update of the patch. It's quite a bit different to the last video I uploaded, I would imagine. Overall, I'm happy with the way things are growing, really. It just really took off. But I really enjoy coming out here. It's a lovely little space. See, the ducks are okay in the patch once things are grown. You can say they've stepped on marigolds and they've knocked some things down, but overall the ducks are fine when they're in the patch, just as long as the patch is grown enough so that they don't get, or so everything doesn't get trampled by the big webbed feet. Oh, the corn. I will include a clip. I did take a clip of this corn before I harvested it all. I'll add that to the video as well. That's the moon and stars that I've already showed you. And look at what we got hiding in there. Another one. We'll have to get a net on him. So this is what I harvested yesterday out of the patch. It's still in a bucket yet. It's just as I picked it. This sugar baby melon. Obviously you can't see the trendle on this because I've already cut it, but you can tell it's dry. It's completely dry all the way down to the stem. The tendril would have been up here somewhere, and that of course was very dry as well. And also you can hear the hollow sound. They say the hollow sound is a good guide as well, but to be honest, when I tap even the small fruit, they all sound pretty hollow to me, so I just judge it by that tendril and hope for the best. Here's a mixture of some of the fruit I collected yesterday. A lot of these, we're only just starting to get a good glut of tomatoes now. So far I've made a couple of lasagnas. I've made a little bit of tomato sauce, but I haven't preserved anything as of yet because we're only just beginning to really start getting them coming on. So with these ones, I think as they ripen, they need to continue ripening, a lot of them. I think what I'll do is put them directly in the freezer as they are. I'll give them a wash and get them in the freezer, and then I can process them as I want to later on. So yeah, we've got a good mix of yellow oxheart, the Mary Italians, and there's also green zebras down in there as well. There's some apple cucumbers in there as well, and of course the cherries. Some bug damage, like I'll clean them and sort them out as I wash them and before I freeze them. Yeah. And these sunflower heads, these were out in the patch. I pulled these in. These are the ones that I'm drying for their seed. They've got the good size sunflower heads on them. I can't leave them out here because they'll get eaten up by mice and things during the night, but I'll leave them out here in the sun. Those are the two that I had in the patch that I've already harvested. And out here we're currently at the front, in my front yard. And I also have these ones that I think should be coming on. They're also ready to come in. And you can, I'll step back, I'll hop down off the step. And you can see they're working on, they're setting their seed now. You just peel them back like that to show the seed in there. These quite big. My poor dahlias, it was just too wet for them. I think because all the flower heads, majority of the flower heads just died before they bloomed. And I think it just wasn't a good year for them. Having said that though, I didn't lift the bulbs last year. So this year when they die back, I'll lift those bulbs and separate them, and hopefully they'll do better next year when I plant them again. At the front here I have an avocado tree. It's only a baby, of course. Hopefully it does well. So far it's holding on. With avocados, they do grow in our climate. They can be hard to get established from what I understand. They don't like to have wet feet, and we're dealing with clay soil here. So I don't know, we'll see. Keep an eye on it over the next couple of years, and hopefully it'll find its way and do okay. And of course, more amaranth because it's just really pretty. Zinnias and some daisies. Oh, that's the basil mint. If you've seen the other videos, you saw that I had to pull the mint up. The basil, I don't know what to call it. It is called a basil mint. It must be a cross variety. It smells like mint. Apparently when it's cooked it tastes like basil. But I had to pull that up because I had that growing in the ground out the back in the patch. And it was just going crazy, so I pulled it up and brought it out the front here. Have it in this tub. I'm just looking at it. It looks like it's about to flower. The bees will love that.